Good morning, guys. Welcome to reading class. Let's continue reading the story, Abby in Charge. Abby is a little girl, is a 9 years old, who is in charge of a farm. They moved from Dakota, from Iowa, because they are gonna live in another place, but they need to build their home, the Addis family. They need to build their house. And it's gonna be a sod house. So Abby has two brothers and her parents. The middle brother went with the parents to build the house. The house is not close to this farm. This farm belongs to Fancy's family. And they also went to help mom and dad to build the house, the sodi house. So Abby is alone in the Fancy's farm, taking care of everything. She is in charge of everything, even in charge of her little brother, Bert. Bert is 2 years old. Abby has a company, has a doll. The name of the doll is Ruby Lillian. Ruby Lillian is Abby's company. But sometimes, or suddenly, sorry, she realized that something was happening outside. When she came out, she looked that it was very dark, but it was not so late. It was not late, but the sky was suddenly dark. And also the wind was blowing a lot. And I remember that I asked you, what do you think is happening? Is happening here, outside. And someone told me something. What do you think is happening? According to the picture, look at the picture. What do you think is happening?
Me, how do you say tormenta in English?
Storm.
Storm.
A storm. You think a storm is happening?
Yes.
Hurricane.
Me, I am
tornado.
Oh, look at the color. Look at the color.
Me, I am thinking that
An eclipse.
Eclipse. And,
Please, my internet is slow. I remember that I said you that
and Isabella?
that the sky is red.
Because why? Why is red?
because
It say because the sky, the sun will explode.
Something exploded.
me, no,
If something exploded, that explosion can cause what?
Yes.
But I want to listen something related with that color, the color of this picture.
me.
If we have a tornado, we are not gonna see this color.
Me.
So probably is what?
Because
The sun was setting.
What?
The sun was setting.
Setting. Yes, of course I know it's part of setting. Look what it says here. In the afternoon, while Bert napped, Bert is the little brother, Abby worked on her sampler again. Suddenly, she heard low bellows, the loud noises from the cows. What was the matter with Bess and Missy, the names of the two cows? A gust of wind blew into the soddy, knocking the canvas flat against the wall. When the wind is blowing, there are things that hit the wall, okay? Abby looked outside. The sky seemed unusually dark for this time of the afternoon. Or had she lost track on time? Was it later than she thought? Was it later than she thought? The wind blew dust through the yard, and the cows continued making frightened noises. Okay, the cows were afraid and they were making frightened noises. Abby hurried to the clotheslines to make sure the laundry she had forgotten on the line since yesterday had not blown away. She gathered the bedding and burst clothes, pulling and flapping sheets away from her face. She saw a queer sight. Queer, something weird, something not common, something rare. So she saw a queer sight in the southwestern sky. The far horizon was ablaze with orange and yellow, as if the sun were setting. So what happened? Why do you think the sky is orange and yellow?
Miss, the sky is orange because it's time to be the night. And it is afternoon.
You think it's nighttime?
No,
But it says that it wasn't
Fire.
a fire, exactly. Look at this other picture. But Abby knew exactly where the sun set. She had watched the western horizon every day since they left Iowa. This glow wasn't from the sun. She bundled the laundry together and toasted inside the soddy, then scrambled up the ladder to the roof for a better look. So she climbed into the roof to have a better look, to watch what is happening. Remember that she is in charge of the farm. And of course, especially in charge of Bert, his little brother, her little brother. As she climbed, the wind grew stronger. She crawled along the roof, shielding her eyes from flying dust and sharp pieces of brittle grass. A family of coyotes raced through Mr. Fence's plow, Mr. Fence's plow field, not even stopping to bother Anna's chicken. Remember, the coyotes hunt chickens, but coyotes didn't stop to hunt a chicken. They were running. They were escaping from the fire. So, who
How
frankly
the fire is gonna have a lot of air. And it will be like
near to lean to. Abby wiped her eyes with her apron, so she cleaned her eyes because probably she was thinking that it was a dream, maybe, and discovered
so
that
that
her
if
face
like
was.
this, for example, you see like something fall in your eyes and you just do like
How we used to roll our eyes to see if something is happening. Christopher, what are you doing? You have to follow in the reading. Here, what it says. Look, and when Abby did this, when she cleaned her eyes, discovered that her face was covered with black flecks. Black flecks son el hollín es como un tile. Cuando hay fuego, cae un hollín negro. And if it land here on your skin and you do like this, le queda negro acá. So her face was covered with black flecks. There were cinders flying in the air. The bright glow she saw was a pretty fire, and it was headed right to the fancy farm. Melanie, continue the reading, please. Here.
The palms of her hands broke into a cold
Sweat.
Had to think of a way to save herself and Bert. He had to think of a way to save the farm. She scrambled off the roof and ran inside the study to wake her her brother. What?
Gabriel.
Wake up, she screamed. He got to get out of here.
Exactly. Bert was sleeping. So she says, wake up. We have got to get out of here because the fire was getting close to the farm. Continue, Gabriel, from here to here.
Both eyes flew open and he began to whimper. He knew something was terrible wrong as he watched his sister gather Anna's books and stuff them back into the trunk.
Okay, thank you. Isabella, are you there? Isabella. Isabella. Hello, Isabella. Isabella is not in class. She connected, but she's not there. Okay, with all her
I was
strength,
sleeping, Miss Isabella.
with all her strength, she pushed the trunk across the room. Opened the trap door to the root cellar. A root cellar is an underground room. Before, people has no electricity, okay? So of course they don't have refrigerator. That was an invention that appeared later on, after the electricity was created, was discovered, okay? So how did they keep food in good condition? A root cellar. A root cellar is an underground, is a hole. Maria Fernanda, what are you doing? No one have to be facing down. Nadie con la cabeza agachada, porque nadie debe estar copiando. So an underground, this is the house, right? The house is this one. So the root cellar is an underground room. The temperature here is low. It's más frío here than here. So they keep food here, and that temperature in here helps them to keep the food in good condition. Because there's no electricity, so no refrigerator. That's what she did. So she pushed a trunk because they want to save some things like books and other stuff. She shoved the trunk into the cellar with one terrific push. There was barely enough room for it. Neither she nor Bert would fit down there as well. She slammed the door. Where are we going to hide? What are we going to do? She blurted and ran outside. The wind swept across the yard, picking up dry leaves and pieces of grass and sending them into the sky in little corkscrew formations. Ada remembered what Pa had said about a stiff wind behind a pretty fire. Would the fence's fire break save them? What a fire break is? A fire break, it's like defense. How can I explain this? It's like a defense. Es como una forma de defensa para cuidar la farm. So, what is it? Es un ditch. It could be a ditch. Puede ser un canal, como una cuneta. Nosotros lo conocemos así. And here is green. Okay, this is grass, trees, and everything. And el fire está avanzando acá. Fire. But what happened? The fire is going to continue moving on. Pero cuando ya no encuentre nada que quemar, what is going to happen with the fire? Se va a apagar, ¿cierto? Cuando no encuentre nada que quemar. So, esto es un fire break. Esto, save them. The cows were bellowing in terror now. Don't forget the cows. Bessie and Missy. Addie decided to untie Bess and Miss. They were tied, amarradas. So she decided to untie the two cows and let them run from the fire. Their eyes roll as they push against their ropes. Run as fast as you can, Addie shouted, hitting each cow on the run. Should she and Bert try to run too? But how far could they get in bare feet? How far can they get con los pies descalzos? How far? ¿Qué tan lejos? Remember that Abby is 9 years old. Alan, continue reading here, please.
Addie rise back into the study and put her black copper-toed
Boots
boots. She quickly
slipped
Bert's shoes on him, pulling him by the hand. She ran outside again. They were past the fire break, running away from the fire as fast as Addie could go when she realized the hen left Ruby Lillian.
When she realized, o se dio cuenta, she had left Ruby Lillian in the farm. Where? Behind, says here. Behind
On the table. She picked burned up and
dashed back. So what did she do? She came back. She came back to pick up Ruby Lillian. That was dangerous because fire was getting close. So this darkness and quiet made the fire seem farther away. She wanted to stay there, but she knew she couldn't. From the door, she could see that the approaching flames were as tall as 3 houses. So imagine the fire, as tall as 3 houses, como de 3 pisos. That was very hot. I can imagine the temperature of that place. 3 houses stacked one atop the other. The wind was so strong, the fire break would never work. She knew there wasn't time to set a backfire, even if she knew how. A fire can't go where there's nothing to burn. That's what I said before. A fire can go if there's nothing to burn. Here. If there's nothing to burn. Abby repeated passwords frantically, trying to think of a plan. She crouched in motion, so she crouched. Look at this picture. She crouched. Está con las piernas dobladas. Okay, down. Get on my back, Bert. Get on my back here. The child saw tearfully, but did as he was told. He followed the instructions. So what happened here? She ran outside with Bert on her back and Ruby Lillian in her pocket. The wall of fire was closer. She could see tuft of grass exploding into flames. With each explosion, the sky filled with more and more billows of black smoke. The roar was deafening, like a terrible running summer thunderstorm. Crystal, who read? Melanie read, Gabriel. Okay, Crystal, read here. Hello, Crystal.
Okay. I promised to watch the farm and keep it safe. She told Boy, placing him on the ground near the well.
The well. Uh-huh.
I can let the Nancy's house burn.
Mm-hmm.
Lower
Continue.
back to
Bucket.
bucket.
A bucket. She lowered a bucket. Uh-huh.
Lower a bucket after bucket into the water, sweeping the soggy walls as best she could.
Uh-huh. Okay, you know what a well is? Es un pozo. Have you seen wells in rural communities? Quizás en la casa de la abuela, que está en alguna comunidad fuera de Tegucigalpa. So, wells are holes to find water. So this well has water. Abby think the well is the only way I can escape. Look at this picture. She used the ladder to climb down inside the well. Bert is in her back. And how long is she gonna stay here? She's gonna stay there until it is safe to get out. That's what she did. This one, and look at this, here is Ruby Lillian in her pocket. This was the only way she could save her and Bert's life. It's the only way. That was happened. And how did she know that what to do? Because she learned from her father. She always listened. She always listened her father's voice, always. So she stayed there. She stayed there a lot of time, and her body was hurt. She felt pain because she was inside the water and has Bert on her back. But at the end, time passed. And when the fire has gone, she heard a voice in the opening of the well. Look at this one. This one has fire on top of her. But finally, she listened a voice that was calling her, that says, Abby, Abby. Who was calling her? It was her brother, her middle brother, George. Ma and Pa came back, and Fancy's Mr. and Mrs. Fancy's also came back, and George, and they found Abby inside the well, alive. Abby saved Bert's life. So they think that Abby was a very brave girl because she was able to save her life and to save his brother. So this is the story about. This
So
is the
now
story.
he can be a pioneer.
Yeah, because she was very, very, very intelligent. You know why? Because
Miss, it's already the hora of finish the class, no? Yes.
now I have these questions.
Finish to copy.
Yes, you did. Okay.
Copy paste.
Okay, we are over time. So I am going to take a picture and I will upload it in Schoology. You can copy from Schoology. Comprehension questions: when the fire comes, what makes the children cough?
But with the answer, Miss? You want to show me with the answer?
Yes, of course, with the answer. What
Okay.
what makes children cough? Of course, the smoke. Okay,
Me, I want to copy this now.
if you feel smoke, you're gonna cough. Why did Abby wait so long before climbing out of the well? Why she stayed hours inside the well? Why? Why? Why do you think she stayed so long inside the well? Why?
Because in the fire, if you don't have nothing more to burn, it can apagar.
Yeah, but of course she needs to be sure that the danger was gone. The fire is large, right? And dangerous. So she stayed in the well long time to be sure the fire is really gone. She needs to be safe and she needs to be sure there's not more fire. Why is so hard for Abby to climb out of the well? Why is so hard? Why is so difficult for her? Isabella, you didn't receive the class. I was calling you. I was asking for video. I was asking for your
I'm so
microphone.
sorry. Estaba
you-
vomitando.
Really?
Yes. Estaba con mi tía abuela, entonces ella me estaba poniendo el papel, entonces me trajo 2 servilletas para limpiarme.
Okay. This is the work you have to copy for this class, but it will be in a Schoology. You can copy it later.
I am copy the answer to the number 2.
And you have to upload a picture in a Schoology, okay? So why is so hard to climb out of the well? For Abby, because she spent a lot of time there. She's very tired. Remember that she has Bert on his back and she spent a lot of time inside the well. That's why it was so hard. She's very tired and Bert is hanging onto her back. So class, we finished. Time is over. Thank you for your attention.